All right, peoples, good early morning. No trading on Wednesday, holiday. Okay, I owe you guys a YBIT. I've got 2 days worth of data and some interesting things going on I'll point out to you guys. So let's jump in here. How has our friend YBIT and BITO been performing? Well, the stock is going down and people are buying it like crazy. How's that for a summary? I've got a few charts to show you and my analysis. So let's go over the past 2 days. Let's take BITO. So on Monday, BITO closed up 1.9%, right? Went from 24.69 to 25.16. And what did YBIT do? It went up, but it went up 60%, 70% of that, maybe even 75. Went up 1.22% from 1802 to 1824. And then on Tuesday, BITO got slammed down 3.74. Crypto was down, and we did better, we being YBIT. Only went down 2.63, right? So 65% of the downturn to 1776. So on both of these days, because people are buying in, and then even on the Friday, we had put on some additional, right? We rolled out of our calls and created new calls, right, for 8,450. But look at this share count. So on Monday, so it had been static for a few days last week at 1,175,000. So then on Monday, it jumped up 275,000. And then, not to be outdone, on Tuesday, it jumped 525,000 shares, which is a significant amount. It's almost a third. It went up 500. It is a third. 500,000 on 1,450. Now, if you look at the trading chart, I think they were around 800,000 shares. So you had some selling, you had some buying, but you had a net, And so what I thought I would do is I go through and show you some of the things that they did. And let me do that. And then I'm going to show you a chart because I'm tracking this share count. I went in and I plugged that in, and then I did a cumulative since the very beginning in April 23rd, when the fund launched. I tracked, and they always start at around 100 or 125,000 shares. It's like the seed money comes in and they buy in, and then they have enough so people can start trading, buying in. So what I did was I built a cumulative chart, and you'll see this mass movement in really over the last couple of weeks. Now, my eyes looking at it says it's on sale, obviously, right? But Bitcoin is a little bit more in a precarious, it's dropping down from that upper tier support at 66, 65.6, and dropped down a couple days, which is not a good sign. And everybody's got an opinion. Is it going to 52? Is it just going down to 60? Who absolutely knows? But when it breaks that support, the probability, so 60-40 or 70-30, is it's going to go down further. So let's see. But a lot of people are buying the shares because from what I'm seeing, it's going to have another good yield, and that's where I'm going to take you. So I'm telling you that stuff up front. But if I can't support what I'm saying, that's why sometimes I go into depth here. So just fast forward if you hate this depth, right? But some of the people like it. And in this case, I spent time creating a chart of acquisition, and they rolled out of one position to into another and stuffed us full of cash, but also leave a big liability. So there's a possibility of a big payout, but I don't want to overpromise like on the first month. Let's see how they do. So a lot of things to tell you. So other than this, on Tuesday is the big roll day, and I'm going to go into that. On Monday, with the share count being added, they went out and sold. This was their roll of all their weeklies. And then this was just 1,800 new contracts. So they got $41,400 in the door. And they sold $25.50 strike price. And at that time, on that day, they closed at $25.16. So it wasn't that far out. And then they went down on this day, but with the massive 525,000 shares bought, look at this cash. The cash changed 7 million, then it changed 16 million. So that's about the only time all this really does anything for you, is when you see this big cash change. So let's look at the synthetic, because they rolled a whole bunch of stuff. So they came in here, and this is only showing you the 4,100 where they bought a 25, or sorry, sold a 25 call for 19 cents. So now when you add all these together, we're up to like 14,350 calls. So we're starting to sell a lot, and we also have a lot of synthetics. We rolled out of one and into another and gave us more money, and we got a big loss, but it's all the way out till August 2nd. I say a big loss, meaning that we're way underneath the synthetic position. I'll explain all that. So here's the actual intraday chart for just Tuesday, right? I have Monday, but I'm not going to drag one little item. So they came in here and they closed out their 36 synthetic. Well, the stock's trading at 25. I was always saying it expired this Friday. I figured they're going to do it Monday, Tuesday. I didn't even realize last week that Wednesday was a holiday. They're going to do it Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday. They're not going to wait till Friday. So they did it on Tuesday, right? They sold a call for 1 cent. I mean, it was worthless, but they got 1 cent, just like when they should expire worthless in this, you know, trading environment they're in, right, which is a whole different option world than what you and I, retail traders, are trading in. And they have this European option where they have to settle in cash. So you and I would just have something expire worthless. They got to buy it back for a penny or two. So they so they sold this. It was really worthless for a penny with 2 or 3 more days. And they closed something that was $11.96. So it had, 3 days worth of time premium. But the stock is trading at 24 and the strike price is 36. So that's why you see the 11.96. So then they come in and they pick a 35. Because if they'd have gone right to a 25 or something, they would have taken that big loss in their cash. But this way, they have out till 8/2, August 2nd, which is a Friday. Normally, they pick the 3rd Friday on these months, but with these cryptos, they don't seem to care that much. So they went to the 1st Friday in August, which gives us plenty of time, and they bought 14,350, which matches all their weekly calls, and they bought a 35, which is $1 less than the 36, but way out there. It's only 12 cents. And then they sold short these puts. Well, the puts are so far underwater, they're going to have a lot of value. They sold it for $13.42. So the difference between these gives them more cash than the cash they had to put out. And then I showed you the 4,100 on the 19 cents. So let's look at that out on the synthetics. So on my 36, this had been, like a $4 million, a negative number, which is a gain. It was like a $4 million loss out on our payouts tab. So by the time I close it all out, right, and the reason you can see that May and June with the 4 million, minus 4 million, those two added together to this number right here. So those were split between May and June, and we had collected $9 million up here, right, along the way. Every time we sold, you know, we were selling the put for a lot more because it was a 36 and BITO's nowhere near 36. So we had 2 days to go. So I closed this one out and changed this number to reflect the loss and then updated the payouts. But lo and behold, they got a roll, right? So let's go look at the 35. There was already a 35 in here, so I had to label this one 35-2. So they took 618 to 14,350 contracts. Here's the 12 cents, and there's the 1342. So they collected 19 million. Nice. So now down here, our June profits are 19. So we're back looking really good, although we've got an 18 million, 18.2 liability. But we have a lot of time. So this is going to make it interesting when we get the payout. I don't think people realize this. I mean, I knew this roll was going to take place, but I didn't know that they would still go out to another high price and collect cash and have a liability and use the time to get there, which I think is great. I thought they'd go to a 29 or 30 and grow into it. They'd still get positive put money versus the call price, but they went way out there. And hey, you know, if Bitcoin runs, that's not that far. So let's take a look at what that, I'll just go show you the good stuff, right? And if you want to leave, leave. But I'm still going to go back to some of the holdings and the weeklies, and you know, it's fair to show that. So this number was ugly when I just had the 36, but then I went in and added the 19, right? So instead of having like a 4 million loss here, we've got, you know, like an 11 million gain. And this number upped a little bit with that 4,100 and the one on 617. I mean, there's small amounts of money, but look what we had here. Do you remember this situation? I do, because a lot of people said, oh man, you blew that call, Bruce. You said could be 250 plus, right? I'm not trying to deny that one, and we got paid $1.37 because I was showing this. They collected $6, but they also had a big liability on that 36 hanging and a brand new payment. And I thought, well, maybe they're going to pay us $2.50, $2.80, maybe $3. But they didn't. They paid us $1.35. So we had this reserve. And then we came along here and the same thing. We got an ugly 18 million, you know, deficit, and our, well, I think it's 9 million. I don't even know if I updated this to the 35 and some fairness, but we have a big liability. But we got till August 2nd. Who knows, right? We're doing great on our weeklies. So once it starts running, we may not win all of our weeklies. So here's the predicament, you know. YIELDMAX has to make a decision. So, and look at the share count. It blew up. I mean, it blew up, almost doubled from 1175 to 1975 in 2 days. Now, people don't know what I'm telling you. It's not like there's a whole bunch of insiders. It's more of people buying it because it's down and they're smart. They saw it 20, 21, right? And it paid a heck of it when it was 19 after subtracting, paid $1.37. It was like an 81-cent distribution annualized yield. So we've got more shares and we're still sitting here at 620 collected, right? They handed us that money and we have 34 cents. So slightly lower if you want to look at it like, but a lot of times this number is used. They always feel safe in sharing the weekly capture. And they'll borrow from this sometimes, or even borrow from the treasuries to pay something out if they don't have it, because they always have cash in the treasury. So what I'm saying is we've got 2 more weeks to write weeklies. But in all honesty, that's, 20, 30 cents. It's probably another 40 cents. So this is probably up around 70 cents or something at best. Okay. But this isn't going to change. And if people buy into this with more shares, this is going to go up. It increases our longer term liability. So I already have a lot of shares of this, probably more than I even intended to buy, because I thought the distribution was going to be higher, but I didn't run out and sell them. So to me, again, guys, I'm not going to tell you it's $2 and $3 and $4, and have it be $1.50 or $1.25 or $1.37. But look, I mean, logic says they're going to do what they did last time, and maybe they're going to pay more. So I'm just telling you what I see instead of trying to actually predict. And it's early, right? I mean, not that early, but it's early. So, what did I say? I have to roll this week since it's 26-21. Well, baby, they rolled, right? And they rolled to a 35. So that's the state of my buddy and yours YBIT, peoples. So we can just look here. And this needs to get updated for the synthetic count. And I thought I did it, but I guess I did it for 617 and not 618. So if you want to wait through this, I'll update this, right? So this number is now 14,350. On both of these, and then I'll put the values in here. So on this one, it's now 1342, and this one has a value of 69 cents, which seems strange to me because they only paid 12. But okay, so we got an 18, right? 18.2. So we clearly, but that goes away when you start going 26, 27, 28, 29. So, and they got till August 2. So Faithful and BTC, I think this is a pretty good match. And then this number is now made up of 14, it's 10,250. And then I got a minus 4,100 here. Okay, and this one is a 25 even, and then we captured, I think, 41 on that guy. Oh no, we captured 77 on that, and then yeah, and I added the other one that was the 1800 into that one. So let's see what it closed at. The 25 closed at, so the 41 closed at 15.5. Just to tell you where we are on these weeklies. And this guy, the 10,250, closed at 0.08. Sweet. And let's add what this, yeah, I showed you what we captured. So look at these win rates with 2 trading days to go because with the holiday, right? So we've gotten 18% of this captured, and we've got 70% of this guy captured because we're down in 24s with 2 trading days, right? 21 point, whoops, that isn't even the right number. That was 525. And this number was a little bit higher. I think it was 1,475. Yeah, so 35% increase in the share count. And I did make these, okay? And these need to be cleaned up because I went from 36 to 35. But guys, this to me is way better than last month. They had a month out to go, but they had that big liability. I didn't know what YIELDMAX was going to choose to pay. And I don't know what they're going to choose to pay this month. But I can tell you the way they're rolling, they know they're going to collect more cash. So maybe after doing it twice, they're going to give us 2 or 250 or something. You know, because I will say this is a very competitive space. Look at all the ProShare funds. Look at Fidelity's funds. Look at, you know, YBTC. I forget who has it. There's a lot of BTC, Bitcoin tracking ETFs. And BITO being one, and this rides on top of BITO. I own a couple, 100 shares of BITO, very little. I own a lot more YBIT because I think YIELDMAX is going to perfect, and I like their optionality, the way they run their options. So, guys, let's see if Bitcoin performs, and even if they don't perform at the current rate, we should get what we got last month and could get a lot more, but I ain't going out there and saying it, right? That's the definition of stupidity, doing the same thing expecting a different result. So I'm going to let you use your imagination on this one. I'm just going to tell you there's a lot of cash in there and they'll make a decision, right? And I try and educate you that there's a liability out there and likely why they held out that first month. Okay, guys. That's what I got for you for YBIT. Sorry about the 2-day, the day delay, but I'm making a ton more videos nowadays, and I'm trying to do this as much as I can. And I was gonna map this with another one, and I thought, no, this one, something's going on. I want to give it to you guys by itself. Okay, Bruce out. Have a great holiday. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. It's fun and entertainment. Okay, guys, bye.